Hey guys!
Nobody's actually watching just yet.
Oh, okay. But this is gonna go live. I mean, this is
Yeah,
gonna be up
you
on
can
the
be
channel.
replayed.
Hey guys, welcome back to AmSamFam. We are here. This is our very first time going live, so excuse the mumbling over here
Yeah,
to
thank
start
you.
the video.
Thanks so much for joining us for this live video. Talofa.
Alan Alama, Talofa, thanks for joining us. Hey Sene, Chardonnay, oh, I'm so glad. Guys, my biggest fear for doing this live was that we were going to get on here and it was just going to be crickets, that nobody was going to join us. So we couldn't be happier to, oh my gosh, hi. Hey everybody, we're so happy to see you guys all here. So I figure we can start. Woo, we got lots of people joining. How's the weather? It is rainy.
Yeah, so I guess maybe that's one of the first things we should say is that we really want to do this out by the ocean and give you a pretty view of just the crystal clear water. And it rained on us like cats and dogs this morning, just buckets of rain. So we're kind of half hiding under our porch here in case it starts raining on us again. But I think it's still pretty behind us. You get some of the pretty green trees. We got an ulu breadfruit tree right here and a papaya tree. So it's hopefully it's pretty enough.
Hey guys, okay, you guys are joining so fast that we can't get everybody, but let's see, we just want to say hi to everybody. Thank you.
Thanks for the congrats on reaching
yes.
5,000. Yeah, that's it's a big number for us. It's not a great, huge number in terms of YouTube, but for us, we were really excited to hit that. And so thank you so much for sharing the video and sharing our channel and kind of spreading the word on it. We really appreciate that.
Yes, and not just for our reaching 5K, but all the way along. Guys, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. We we started this channel because when we moved here to American Samoa, there really wasn't a lot of information online. And so we came to American Samoa without a lot of information, knowing what we were getting ourselves into. And we spent the first couple of years living here just getting out and exploring the island, figuring out the culture as well as we could, and just learning as much as we could. And then we finally hit a point when we said, you know what? When we go out on our hikes or to our beaches, let's start recording it and let's start sharing these videos with whoever out there wants to see. So we had no idea. We had no idea what the growth was going to be like for our channel. And we started out slow, but you guys have been so awesome. A lot of you guys have been with us like right there from the very beginning. Forget me not, I've been seeing you on here for a long time now. There have been a lot of you guys. And so a huge, huge thank you, Fafatai Lava, to all of you for being with us either for months or for days.
Seeing so many comments and questions rolling in, so we want to jump right into them as well.
Real quick, before we jump in, just a reminder, if you want to have a chance of winning that prize, our care package here from American Samoa, we can't access the comments that you guys are putting in the video, like the live chat comments after the video is over. We can only access the comments that you put underneath the video, like the regular comment section, like you would comment for any video. That's where you comment, and if you comment down there, then you'll have a chance to win that care package from us.
So comment down below, tell us where you're from, and say something nice, hopefully.
Ask a question.
Yeah.
I'll try to keep an eye on those comments as well as the comments coming through our screen so we can get everybody's questions answered as much as we can.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a couple of questions that we saw. We probably missed some that were early on, so feel free to ask again. One of the first questions, and I like this, is are you staying at Coconut Point? In general, yeah, we're in the Coconut Point area. This is where we live here. So we're very fortunate to live right on the beach.
Yeah.
I like this one a lot. It says, knowing what you guys know now. This is from Lady Trucker, which is an awesome screen name. Knowing what you guys know now, would you guys ever move back to the States? That almost as soon as we got here, we didn't feel any strong desire to move back to the States anytime soon, for a couple of funny reasons. One of the reasons is not that funny. It's just that it's kind of paradise here, and we moved from Idaho, which is a really, really amazing state. We loved Idaho. Great people, family. The summers in Idaho are as beautiful as American Samoa sometimes, so we loved it there. But the winters were horrible, and we're not snow people or winter people, so we didn't really miss that at all. So that's one of the obvious reasons that we didn't feel a strong desire to go back to the States. Another reason for me, and I think Melinda shares in this with me, is when we got here, life is harder here. I mean, it's a simple life, but it's harder. You don't get all the creature comforts that you do back in the States. And there was a little bit of time that it took us to kind of get used to that, but it wasn't even like we struggled to get used to it. It's just we got here, we knew that was going to be our life from there on, and I don't know, there's this part of me that's scared to ever go back. Like, if we go back and just like fall right back into the creature comfort and like the sort of, you know, I say creature comfort. Another kind of the other side of the coin, creature comfort, is it's like the rat race. If we go back, I feel like we'll fall back in the rat race, and I'm kind of scared to do that. I don't want to fall back in the rat race. So we have not yet reached a point where we've thought, yeah, we ought to kind of move back. We're not even kind of at that point.
So we've been here over 3 years now, and we haven't even taken a trip back to mainland US, but we are just barely starting to feel like, okay, maybe we could take a trip and visit and then get back. Yeah. Because we found our home here.
So saw a couple other good questions. Let's do some other questions. A couple of them hit on food so far. How's the food? How do we like the food? We eat a lot of rice, things of that nature. That is something that is important to know, I guess, about American Samoa. Is it's probably the thing we feel like we miss out on the most. It's just a good variety of food here. When we got here, we realized that most of the restaurants serve kind of around the same thing, and you know, there's good pizza on the island, but not like really great pizza on the island.
It's hard to get bad pizza, so we've got good pizza.
Yeah. And so we obviously fell in love with the Samoan food right off the bat, and that's the saving grace, is that when you start to love taro, palusami, you start to love like ulu, a breadfruit, and like the local fruits and vegetables, and the local
banana.
Yeah, you get into that, then you do okay, but still there's some times that we're just like, you know, I could use some Taco Bell right now. And
so classy.
There's nothing like that around here. I mean, we're not going to get that at all. So we miss some of those foods that we maybe grew up on, the healthy and the unhealthy, but
definitely things like just fresh berries. We miss strawberries, raspberries, blueberries.
So when we hear people are going off island, we'll tell them, we're like, well, you know what, go eat some good Indian food for us, or, you know, go have some, you know, have some like proper Italian food for us. Or, you know, we like to get off to go experience that, and then we like to get back to our home island here.
Now we do have some good variety. So I saw this question somebody asked in our last video we posted, was what's our favorite restaurant here? And I thought that was a great question, because if you're going to be coming on island, I would absolutely recommend we go there at least once a week. All of a sudden I'm drawing a blank. There's a Vietnamese pho restaurant over in Malaimi, and it's we always just call it, let's go get pho. So we never call it by its actual name, but we've been thinking we need to do a video on that one, so we'll get it out here for you guys.
Shout out to our buddy Yen.
Yes,
we love you, Yen. Yeah. So pho is one of our really favorite restaurants here. You know, just while we're on the topic of food, there are a few of our videos that we've gotten the same questions on over and over, and there's one of them that I wanted to touch on real quickly. Is on our cost of living for shopping video, over and over and over again, people ask, well, can't you just grow that? Why don't you just grow a garden? Sounds like it'll solve all your problems. You can grow tomatoes anywhere. You can grow strawberries anywhere. Now, if you've had that question and we haven't answered you, it's because we've answered it so many times that we're kind of burned out on answering that.
We need to just do copy and paste.
Yeah, probably. But here is the answer. We have a lot of farmer friends here, people that are in agriculture, and foods like or produce like tomatoes, for the most part, do not grow here. There are some small cherry tomato varieties, but like the big, beefsteak tomatoes or the Roma tomatoes or the tomatoes that we would kind of be used to putting in salads and stuff, do not grow here. The soil is too moist all the time. It's too humid here, and so root rot is a major problem. Same goes for strawberries and almost any berry.
Yeah, different fungus grows here, and so they just don't grow well. But I was just brainstorming video ideas yesterday, and I think we're going to go talk to some of our farmer friends here and just let them explain what the difficulties are of growing food here. So we'll get some more about that coming soon. Okay, I saw a question, where are the friends? That's or where are the kids? That's an easy one to answer. The kids are in school right now, which is why we scheduled it for right now, because it's a little bit quieter without our 3 kids running around.
Hey, real quick, I want to go through and just say hi to some folks here. Catalina coming in from Tucson, Arizona. Thanks for joining us. We love Tucson.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time there. We've got...
I saw some from the Bay Area. Nate's mom is in the Bay Area, so we've spent lots of time there too.
Yeah, thanks for joining us from there as well. We saw, there's a Park City, Utah. Sene, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, been there.
Aloha from Kauai, from Tui.
Oh.
Tui, you comment on a lot of our stuff. We love hearing from you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming and checking us out here.
San Diego. Spent just a little bit of time there. Kansas City. I flew through Kansas City one time. Mesa, been there.
We
Vegas.
got Helga from Fongatongo. Thanks so much. Local. We like having our local people. It is funny, guys. We are a small channel, so we have no illusions that we're, we have any importance really in this world. But going around this little island, people all the time come up and say hi to us, and they say they watch our channel, and they act like we're pretty special because we're on the channel, and it makes us feel really good about ourselves because we don't feel like we're that big or exciting or anything like that. But we really love the love that we get from people here in American Samoa. Thanks for coming up and saying hi to us, and please keep doing it because we love that.
Yeah, the shadow catcher from Awa. We love Awa. We'll be coming back soon.
Awa, if you haven't checked out that video, go watch it. Because if you're here and you have smaller children, and the beaches can be a little bit treacherous for little feet, with the coral all around, and sometimes there's the avas, like the riptides, or the sharp coral and currents. It is the safest place probably on this entire island that you can go and take your kids to go swimming. It is just gentle, shallow, beautiful water. Go check out Aua.
And the village is just itself is beautiful and peaceful and calm too, to match the bay. All right, Nate, I saw, who did your sleeve?
Who did my sleeve? Duffy is a local tattoo artist, super talented.
In Tafuna, right?
Yeah, in Tafuna. There are a number of really great tattoo artists, as you could probably imagine, here in American Samoa. But the guy's name is Duffy. He is from Manuia Tattoo, I believe is the name of his shop. If you're here on island, you can always hit me up and I'll get you connected with him, or you can look him up and go get something done. Got really nice, and I've seen a lot of other work on the island, and everything is just really awesome. Just that really unique, beautiful Samoan design and style.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
I saw. Okay. This is jumping with it. This is Westbrook Originals asking, is the pay scale compatible with the cost of living here in American Samoa? That's hard. I feel like we make pretty good money for American Samoa. I mean, we make a fraction of what we'd make in the States, but make pretty good money for here. And we do okay. We live comfortably enough. When I first came to the island, I was the economist for the territory, so I had pretty good information about cost of living and wages and things of that nature. And I will tell you, it is hard for me to imagine that the pay scale here supports most people in the way that they live. Especially when you think about it from a first world perspective. In the United States, you think about how you have a mortgage to pay and all these insurances, and then you have all the gas that you spend and car payments and food payments and all those things. I think one of the saving graces is that they don't have all of those costs here.
Yeah.
a huge number of people here in this island. They live on family land because American Samoa, the majority of the island is still communal property, so it's owned by families and by clans essentially. And most people spend very little, if anything, to live on the land if there's already a house that's built there for them. So most people spend not a lot on that. They spend money on food, but they can supplement that a lot with food that they grow around their own properties.
Yeah, a lot of the family land has plantations on it where they grow their own food, and a lot of the people are natural born fishermen too. So that's a lot of the diet here too.
And insurance isn't as big of an expense here for most people.
Yeah.
There are some people that choose to carry private health insurance, but for the most part, it's, for all intents and purposes, it's universal health care here. So you pay it through taxes, and you go and pay kind of like a copay at the hospital if you got to go there for anything, for any doctor's visits. And so that is a lot less of a burden for people here. One thing I noticed is pretty funny is where people don't have that huge expense of having like home mortgage of some sort, they kind of fill that void with getting like a pretty expensive car. And so that's where like people carry seemingly most of their debt is in their vehicles here. So people pay a lot for that, but that's kind of, it's on them for the most part. I think people can balance that. So the long and the short is, for singles or couples, the pay scale doesn't really help a lot when you're living here. The cost of living is a little high for that, which is why most of the time families kind of like, you know, there's bigger families that live together, or they share a lot of costs, or they're on communal property and they're not spending a lot that way. That's how people balance it. Sorry, go ahead.
For us, when we came here, we took a pay cut from what we were making in the States, but taking a pay cut even, because you can live so simply here, for fun, we go out and enjoy the island, which mostly doesn't cost us a cent.
Yeah.
And so we actually live more cheaply here, and we are able to just live in a different way, kind of going back to what Nate was saying before about not wanting to go back to the States anytime soon, because life is good here and we can live here inexpensively. And so what we make here, even though it's less, we live so much better.
And honestly, guys, it all comes back to the idea of like getting out of the rat race. We feel like we got out of it when we came here. You're walking around the island, you're not competing for like clothing. You don't see people dressed as like stylish as they can and trying to like, you know, flaunt who they think they are by like trying to wear clothes that don't really fit them, or you know, don't fit their style, and they're trying to be someone that they aren't. People here are just really genuine, which is great. We don't have to try to fit anything. We don't have to worry about our kids, you know, coming home and saying, you know, they don't have like the coolest new shoes that everybody else has, and like they're getting made fun of for
Everybody
it. I mean, like,
wears the same slippers.
Everybody wears the same slippers. I mean, it's like you're out of the rat race here. We have tires holding down our roof here in our house. Okay,
Yep.
I mean, like, we're not worried about keeping up with the Joneses here, which means that we just spend a lot less than we feel the pressure to spend back in the States too.
All right, let's move on to the next
Yeah.
one. Let's see. How are you guys doing with learning the language? Great question. When we first got here, we jumped in pretty well, and we were working to learn it.
We were like motivated. We were going to learn this language.
They were offering this class for learning Samoan, and I took it, and I was getting into it and had the kids coming with me because I was homeschooling them at the time, and then they canceled the class, and then it never picked up again, and I don't know, we just kind of dropped off. We started here on a 2-year contract, and so as we got closer to that 2 years, we became less motivated, but then obviously we're here more than 2 years, and so we've been feeling more and more of a desire to get back on and to start picking it up again. So thank you for Get Me Not. I would love to. Anybody who wants to offer to tutor us, we would love it.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, the funny thing is, I don't know, maybe I don't want to repeat what you're saying there, but yeah, because we did want to try, but the thing is, to learn, you have to have people speaking back to you. So we'd walk into a store and be like, oh, malo, and they'd be like, hi. Come on. Or get off of a Nainga bus and be like, Fafatai. They'd be like, hey, you're welcome. We're like, come on, man. We're not. So, I mean, you kind of.
Most people here speak English.
Yeah.
I saw somebody ask about the language barrier. Most people here speak Samoan, but most people here also speak English.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't have to know Samoan. And like Nate was saying, we have had a hard time finding people to speak back to us. And so it has been difficult, but we could also try harder too.
Yeah.
So. Oh.
I've seen some really great
Yes.
questions come back through.
I saw a big one.
Where is it?
Want to tackle that one?
You know, we're just going to say just only a little bit about the education system here, because the truth is I don't feel like I can be really fair about it. It's just apples to oranges compared to what I grew up with or what I'm used to. Education is a problem worldwide. Unfortunately, this just pay is never there. I don't care where you're at in the world, unless you're maybe at some really prestigious, you know, private school, but pay for teachers is always a problem, which means it's always going to be hard to keep and retain good teachers. Not that teachers here are bad, but the problem is it's just that they aren't appreciated. And so, like anywhere, I mean, I feel like it comes through and it affects the education that the children are actually getting. We refuse from the get-go to put our kids in a private school here, which is what basically all Palongis do. They come here, they put their kids in a private school. It's really expensive, and it is better than the public schools a little bit, but the public schools are not really bad, and the difference between public and private is not so great that it was worth it to us. So the first year we were here, we were just so scared because everybody was telling us, go this way, go that way. We heard like horror stories about public school. We couldn't like
Sasa and all kinds of different things.
Is spankings, by the way, and it happens. Like, it absolutely happens. Our kids have been sasa'd in school, and we also heard about they don't, you know, provide toilet paper and anyway, different things that kind of scared us. But we were shocked by the price of private school, so we homeschooled the kids the first year, and by the end of it, Melinda was like,
the kids did great academically. By the end, we were all like, so we decided we needed to get them back into school the next year.
So we decided to go ahead and put them in school, but we supplement it with education at home, and it's worked really well for us.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to just like speak bad about the education system here. They have limited resources and they work really well with what they have. It's just education isn't fully first world here, you know.
And there are some things that we have run into. So actually, speaking of the language barrier, that is probably the number one way that we have experienced the language barrier is through schools. Oftentimes, not even often, sometimes the kids will come home with an assignment, and the whole assignment is in Samoan, even the instructions. And I'm sitting there like, I don't know, what did your teacher say? I don't know, she just handed it to me. And
Hey, Elizabeth.
And so we that happens, like I said, occasionally, but sorry, I get distracted reading the comments. I need to look away from the screen while I'm talking. But no, for the most part, so this is the third year now that we've had our kids in school, and for the most part we've been good with it. There, like Nate said, there's Sasa does happen, and which us coming from our American upbringing, from the mainland upbringing, we are not used to that. And so we've had to work with teachers and with administration to help solve that.
Yeah. I saw some comments say, call the cops.
Oh,
You got to be okay. You got to think about it from our perspective. Living here, we're foreigners here, even though it's technically the United States. I mean, we're not of this culture, and so we got to be a little extra careful. So when things like that happen, we do not want to be the Palongis that come in and try to make everybody
everything.
act the way that they act where we're coming from. We really try to live within the culture here, and Sasa is a part of the culture that we don't love, and so we're not okay with it. We go in and we talk to the teachers, we talk to the principal, we try to resolve it that way, but we try not to escalate it to a point where we're going to, I don't know, I mean, even if it's the right thing to do, we can resolve it well enough ourselves that we don't have to try to, like, you know, separate ourselves away from everybody else as much as we kind of already are inherently.
so somebody's asking, what is Sasa? Sasa is corporal punishment, so it's physical punishment, whether that's a spanking, whether they'll have the kids hold their finger up and use like a ruler or something, smack them on their fingertips, even just like hey, come on, let's go, and pull them by the ear. It's just any kind of convincing a child to obey you by physical means. So we, like Nate said, we luckily have been able to handle it all basically within house. We talk to the teacher. If that doesn't work, then we talk to the principal. We had to change one of our kids to a different classroom because the teacher wasn't cooperating. But that's the most extreme that has had to happen. So
Carol, you're right. Abuse is abuse. It is abuse. We don't stand for it. We don't tell the kids, sorry, it's just part of the culture. We tell them teachers are not allowed to spank them. If they do get saw-sawed in school, you tell a teacher right now, no, you are not allowed to do this to me. And if they do, you tell us about it, and we put an end to it. So we've been able to handle it, okay?
Saw-saw is Samoan love, LOL.
That's what they say. We're gonna shift gears a little because I've gotten some fun questions about surfing and diving and things like that here, which is one of my favorite discussions to talk about here. So, to be completely open, I haven't surfed since I was like a kid, so I'm not a big surfer here. And the water over the reef is like this deep, and man, I'll tell you, when I'm out there like spearfishing or something, if I barely touch the coral, it slices me open. So I can't imagine wiping out while surfing on top of this coral. So I'm maybe too chicken to do it, but a lot of people do. In fact, we live really close to a really awesome surf spot that basically like every surfer on the island kind of converges there at the right time of year around like the end of work day.
And our kids have gone. We've got some friends who are big surfers, and they are so awesome that they have taken our kids out a few times. And so it's possible. And I don't know that anybody would call it world-class surfing, but if you're here and you're a surfer, there's definitely opportunities to take part in the sport. Now, I saw about scuba diving.
Yeah, just got that question there.
A few times. We haven't actually gone here. Well, no, you did.
I went diving. So we were huge scuba divers. I actually going through college, before college, through college, I worked as a dive master. So like I really love diving. We did it all over.
Worked at a dive shop and everything.
Yeah, Southern California. I lived on Catalina Island for quite a while diving, and so I'm a big diver. And I was really disappointed when we got here to learn that there wasn't really like an actual shop here to go get stuff. There's like a place that fills like industrial gases on the island that you can go and you can technically get like air filled there, but there's not a surf shop to go rent the gear. If there is, it might be so small and kind of out of the way that I haven't heard about it yet. Sorry if there is somebody that owns a shop. Please share in the comments if there is one. But the way that I was able to go diving here was I talked to it's the Department of Marine and Wildlife Resources. They're the ones that go out and they check coral health and they do fish counts and do all these great things there. And I talked to them. I said, hey, I'm a dive master. I've got great experience. Can I come out and just help you guys sometime? And they've invited me out to go and do that with them a couple of times. So that's how I was able to go diving. And I'll tell you guys, it is world class. I mean, some of the healthiest coral on the whole planet here in American Samoa.
And it's even better in Manua.
Oh, yeah.
Which we definitely haven't been scuba diving there, but.
No, but again, the nice thing is, the prettiest areas are actually shallow enough that you could go and just snorkel it and get basically as good of an experience as you do diving. So if you are pretty comfortable with the water and with a snorkel and you come here, just go to almost any beach, get out there, and you're going to get into some of the nicest coral reefs on the planet.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say some of our favorite places. So I've seen a couple.
The water is much clearer than Redondo Beach.
Yes.
We love Redondo Beach, but there's times you go to Redondo Beach where me and Melinda are this far apart, and I have to like, yeah, okay, she's there. No, this never. You always have at least 20-foot visibility. That's like the worst of conditions.
At least, yeah. So some questions asking where for surfing. Some people do it in Leone, but we've noticed more so off of Puatri, just right off of Coconut Point here.
If you look at a map where Nuuli kind of ends and it goes to the Ocean Road, is right where it ends. Right there is kind of a nice break that people surf.
For snorkeling, some of our favorite places, surprisingly, everybody is surprised when we say this, but Fanga'alu, it's got really great snorkeling there.
Yeah.
Fangasa, where else? Just off of Coconut Point here is great. You're more of a snorkeler than me, so.
That's what I'm saying. Like almost anywhere you go, if you get out far enough or you go to the right spot, it's good. Now, a couple of things to be aware of here. You need to know the word ava, because ava is kind of the word here for undertow. It's where all the water comes over the reef and it kind of channels and all goes out in one spot, and it looks like the best spot to go swimming because there's no coral right there because there's a lot of water flow. So a lot of people jump in this kind of sandy area, like it looks so nice, and they get pulled out, and if you're not a good swimmer, you don't know what to do. A lot of people on the island unfortunately drowned in avas, so be wary of those. Know what if you're in one, kind of know how to get out of it and know not to panic. But if you're kind of steering clear of the avas, or you're comfortable and you know how to use the ava to get out, you're going to get into some good coral almost anywhere around the island. But to echo Melinda, I agree. Like Whangasaw is amazing. It's awesome. We've done a video on it. Whangaalu, which is a place that everybody drives by, but hardly anybody we think goes snorkeling there, is seriously so beautiful. You got to get out just a little ways, and then it just turns into like amazing like water there.
Somebody asked, speaking of Whangaalu, have we been jet skiing here? And yes, we had some friends here. They've moved. We love you, Craigs.
Yeah.
But they had some jet skis that we would take out in Whangaalu Bay. That was a lot of fun to do there also.
I have to answer this question. Yamalith Morales, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. You asked, have you guys seen any whales or know of any good views for whale watching?
Yes.
We saw whales.
Just Sunday.
Sunday, yeah. So 2 days ago, we saw whales just right off of Coconut Point here.
Yeah, off of our shore. I really love going out to Turtle and Shark in Waitongi and standing up there on the black cliffs. I think, that's, ooh, sorry, the dog walked by. That's my favorite place to go out and see whales. So, but yeah, you can see them pretty much anywhere along, what side is this? The south side of the island?
This time of year. So it's
Yeah.
like kind of late September through kind of early November, especially. Yeah, but I got to tell you, there's a couple of important questions I want to get to up here. Jonathan Pringle, you asked, how accepted are LGBTQ people there?
Great
That
question.
is such a good question. It's a really interesting question for all of Polynesia, not just American Samoa. It's a very conservative island, something like 98% like practicing Christian population here. So LGBTQ is not really well accepted here, but what is the right way to say this here? In the Polynesian culture, there is a very, very, very accepted term called essentially the third gender. Yeah, so
transgender is definitely, I'd say definitely accepted here. So yeah, we sorry, we've got some of the neighbor dogs wrestling right by us here.
Hey, get out of here. Halu. Halu.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Definitely accepted here. So, and so you'll see.
You see the terms on the screen there. People are commenting. It's fa'afine is the term for that here. That's technically the Samoan word for kind of the third cult or the third gender.
Well, for men transferred to women.
Yeah, it's true.
I can't remember what.
Anybody want to comment? What is it when
know.
it's a woman that is trans? That is what's the word? I'm sorry, we're not.
Transition to female. Or female to male. So.
Anyway,
So we'll see if anybody else.
Obviously,
put that
we're
out
not
there.
the people to give the best explanation of this here. We have seen it and we've noticed it and we've been impressed by that side of it. And kind of the funny dichotomy of it is stuck out to us. But I think somebody in the comment section that's from here.
Fafatama, that's
There
right.
we go, Fafatama, thank you. Could probably give a much better explanation of all of this for us, and we'd appreciate it if you did.
Now, as far as gay, as far as I know, homosexual, like gay marriage is not legal here. It has not been legalized, but that's not to say that somebody who is in a same-gender relationship or marriage moving here would be targeted or anything. I've never ever heard or seen of any times when somebody who's gay or transgender or anything is targeted, or I've never heard of any kind of hatred or anything towards them. And so, like Nate was saying, it's this kind of funny combination because it's so conservative Christian here, and like gay marriage isn't legal, and yet at the same time it is so accepted from what we have noticed.
Somebody commented, I like that, said, wow, we got some experts here. This is that's the point here, is we're not experts on this at all. We are not, you know, in the LGBTQ community ourselves, and so we kind of have some things that we've seen. But again, in the comment section, anybody that has had more direct experiences in that culture here, or has been part of those circles here, let people know exactly kind of how it goes here.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, we can change subjects. Yep. Yes.
Let's see. So I saw a bunch of questions about COVID. We are still COVID free. Woo!
Yeah.
That is such a big thing to celebrate here. Back in March, our borders shut down and they have not been open since. There have been a few flights off the island.
Right.
There have been a few flights off the islands for repatriation for people trying to get to the States. And there, for a little bit, there were some repatriation flights between us and Samoa, but those have closed back down. And other than that, the borders are closed tight. So I know so many people have expressed a desire to come visit, but you're just gonna have to wait because I've got to tell you, I know some people don't feel this way, but we are pretty happy that the borders are closed because that means we're all safe. And I saw somebody ask, do the kids have to do social distancing and wearing masks at school? There's a little bit of that. They're supposed to wear masks. Sometimes I hear that, you know, some classes do, some classes don't. But for the most part, we have been able to keep on a better sense of normalcy for our lives here because because we are COVID free. So we're just hoping we stay that way.
And I would say the answer to why do we wear masks and still social distance if we're COVID free is because the borders are pretty well closed down. But I mean, even on an island, you can't perfectly close everything down. We do still have some federal workers that are coming in and they go through quarantine, but I mean, there are still little cracks here and there that it could come in. And I guess that most people, by the way, are really not social distancing and wearing masks. Mm-hmm. But the people that are, I think what they're thinking is if for some reason it's here and we don't know about it for a week or two, they would rather do the best they can to try to not make it go any, you know, like not spread any more than it may already be doing. So I think it's just people being extra cautious, and we're okay with that for the most part. I think we haven't been wearing masks, but we're not going to a lot of situations where we're too close in with a lot of people. Maybe church. And for a while at church, we were wearing masks.
Or not meeting. For a while, right after they closed the borders, we had pretty much a full lockdown where there was no large gatherings or anything of that sort. But we've opened up within the island. We've opened up mostly, like the theater is open again. I saw somebody ask that a while ago. And so just little things like some things with school that are annoying and frustrating because we don't have any COVID cases, and so I wish it was not that way. But for the most part, we're good here.
Yeah. Westbrook Originals again asking, are you guys concerned about the drug problem surfacing within the young generations? What are your insights? That's one I almost don't want to answer because I know it's a problem here. It is definitely a problem. We hear about it a lot. We know from a lot of people that work in those kind of areas that it's a major problem here. I mean, maybe we don't know what to look for, but we don't see it.
It hasn't affected us yet?
Not in the ways that we know of.
That we've noticed.
I think we're lucky to live in a pretty safe area here. There are certain areas, and it's hard to attribute this just to drugs, but there are certain areas on the island where you hear about some houses getting burglarized. There we go. That's the word for it. But I mean, it's so infrequent. You don't hear about it a whole lot. And I guess one of the things that you automatically jump to is maybe it's like a drug related thing, but there are other things that people have to get money for, that they do, you know, desperate things for besides drugs. So I know it's a major problem here. I don't want to like talk it down like it's not a problem, but yeah, to be very honest, it hasn't impacted us and we haven't seen it directly yet.
Mm-hmm. All right. So You might need to ask somebody else about that one.
Which
or
one? Which
no,
one was that?
just about the drug problem, just because it hasn't yet.
Okay. Is that, I can't do it very well.
Holden does it really well.
Holden does it great, yeah.
The chee-hoo. Okay, let's see. Oh, Nate, yes, that's why you did it.
That's
okay.
why I did, yeah.
Good question. Do we believe in God? Yes, we do. I know. So quite a few people have asked if we go to a church. We do. We are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and we go to the MIW or Masepa International Ward over in Malaimi. So, yep, that's the church we go to.
Yeah, which actually has made it easier for us here, I think, too, because we just, as a point of practice, we don't really go buy things on Sundays, and we don't do, you know, like movies or a lot of shopping on Sundays. And so living here has not been a major problem for us. We haven't had to kind of change the way that we live on Sundays, where a lot of people that don't live that way as a point of practice have difficulty being here on Sundays. But yeah, for us, it's worked out really well.
Also, I think it helped us to be able to find a community when we got here. We've heard from some of our Palangi friends. So Palangi is basically white people or people from who are not native to here, that aren't religious and don't go to church, that they have had a harder time finding a community because church is such a big deal here, such a huge part of life, that when we go here, like when we moved here, we went to church the first Sunday and we had instant family. And we love you, MIW. We love all of you. They've been amazing. But I know that it's like that with probably all of the churches, if not just all of them. Same way.
Now, that being said, so obviously we love our church, but I've had the fortunate ability to go to a couple of other services here the time that I've been here, and they're all amazing here. I mean, it's obviously it's more difficult when you go and you are in a Samoan service where I don't know what's going on, but you still feel like a great feeling being in any of them, and there's still like a great kind of spirit about the people there, and it's been a lot of fun. I've gone to some, and here's the thing, okay, if you probably know this because I think it's pretty well known, but if you don't, somehow Samoans, like in their DNA is singing. And so any church service, any public meeting you go to, there will be singing that will break out, and it will be the most beautiful singing you've ever heard in your entire life. I don't get it because they'll start singing and it'll be a group of people that have probably never been together before, and everybody like knows their parts in it. You'll hear like the guys that are like singing I'm not a singer, I don't know, but you'll hear the people doing their different parts singing at different times, and like it all works so well. They're all in perfect harmony, and it's like the most powerful, beautiful thing you've ever heard. They even do it like I worked in the government the first couple of years here, and I would go to like the governor's cabinet meetings, and all of a sudden I wouldn't really know what was going on, but all of a sudden, boom, it would suddenly everybody, like the whole governor's cabinet would just start breaking out in like some beautiful song. And I tried to capture it on video, and even, I don't know, you can't capture it as quite the right way when you're trying to get it on video. It just doesn't sound as good as it does in person.
All right, so a couple of other things I've seen. Nate, people really want to know your favorite football team.
Oh man, we're gonna lose subscribers if I tell the truth. But guys, I don't really watch sports or football here.
The Super Bowl once a year, maybe.
And I know, guys, this makes me feel like less of a man. I get it. I'm sorry, but man, I don't know. I've just never been into it much. For a little bit of time, I was in it. Like back when Favre was with the Packers, I really liked them. But I mean, I think that was the last time I felt like I was really invested in football at all. I'm so sorry, guys. Because especially here in this island, man, you kind of need to have a team, right?
I know.
If for no other reason than any social event you go to, it's going to come up. People are going to be talking about football. Steelers. We got huge Steeler fans at our family. So,
yes.
So
huge.
we do kind of, if we had to pick one now, maybe just because we've got somebody in our family, I guess we might go Steelers, but we're not.
Growing up, my favorite was always the Dolphins, just because it was like, I like Dolphins. All right. Nice. See, everybody else has a favorite team. We need to just choose one of these.
Yeah,
days.
and you're right. Football is huge in Samoa.
It is.
And an interesting thing about the reason why maybe it's so huge in American Samoa is, now this isn't the entire reason by any stretch of the imagination, but you got to figure, going back to what we were talking about earlier, how wages are pretty low here. It really does, having low wages does kind of zap opportunities at times. So if you are a kid growing up here in American Samoa and you don't want to just end up like, growing up, then you graduate high school and then you maybe go to community college and then just kind of go work locally. If you want to have bigger opportunities, you want to get off the island and do things, you might not have the money to get off and do it. So a couple of really common things that kids do here is they get really into football to try to get those scholarships to get off island and get a good education. It's huge. And it's also just popular and they love it too, but it ends up being something it's kind of a path they try to get themselves on. That's also the reason why this is per capita, I guess the most popular or the most busiest, the most productive military recruiting state or territory here. Like, again, on per capita, there's more military recruits that come from American Samoa than any other state or territory, because that's another way for them to get off island.
Yeah.
So
it's a ticket off for anybody who wants to. All right, I saw a question. What would be the first thing we would eat if we went back to the States? So I've thought long and hard about this. The thing I miss most, anybody who knows this, you get a really big, huge shout out, because it's a small little restaurant in Boise, Idaho, which is where we're from. I've seen some people ask where we originally from. We moved from Idaho, Boise, Idaho, and it's called Bombay Grill. And it's the most amazing Indian food I've ever eaten. Wherever we go, we always try Indian food, and Little Boise, Idaho has my favorite Indian restaurant. So that is where I would eat. If you're in Boise, I look it up from time to time. It is still open. Make sure to go to Bombay Grill.
While I don't completely disagree with Melinda, I'm going to go a different route, almost exclusively because when we went to Australia a year or so ago, I ate Indian food like a big fat pig because I was missing it so badly, and I got really sick off it. So I'm still not ready to go there yet. So if I was going to pick one food to eat off island, I mean, it feels trashy saying these, but like, you know what? Like all the good food there is out there, like sometimes you kind of come back around to like the junk food that like comfort food that you miss. And man, okay, make fun of me, but like I miss Little Caesars pizza and Taco Bell, and I would just like kind of like get sick on those. So I didn't feel like I needed them for a couple more years, and then be so happy coming back and eating papaya and taro.
You see, barbecue. We often talk about
okay, Samoan, no, I take it all back. Barbecue.
Samoan, we've got really good barbecue, but it's just different barbecue.
No, I want Southern barbecue. That's okay. I take it back. Forget Taco Bell. I want Southern barbecue, and that is something that I have not had in 3.5 years. Not really. Thanks for whoever brought that up.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be thinking about Louisiana there. Oh my gosh, having like some like proper gumbo would be really good too.
Little Caesars. I do miss Little Caesars. Okay, we've had some questions about cricket. I haven't ever played cricket.
I have never played it either.
There's a cricket field at Whangaʻalu Park, and so we watch cricket sometimes. Sometimes we'll be in the water snorkeling or just kind of hanging out on the beach, and some guys on kayaks will be floating around the bay to catch the stray balls.
You gotta be kind of careful. Like
they always yell out, and we kind of look around and duck to see if a ball is headed towards us. But
yeah,
we should.
I know internationally it's huge. We should definitely get into it a little more. Try rowing. Okay, now rowing is something that like Melinda has definitely tried a little bit here.
Yeah. That's
huge in Samoa and American Samoa, probably most of Polynesia, honestly, but rowing is huge.
It is. I've done it a couple of times. It was an awesome workout. I was told if you go row, you're not going to enjoy the scenery, you're going to work hard. They won't stop to pause to enjoy the scenery. It's a good hard workout, but it was fun. I really enjoyed it.
To be honest, that's the reason I haven't even tried yet, because Melinda went and did this and I was like, how pretty was it? Was it so nice? She's like, I don't know. I just looked down and like rowed hard the whole time.
I brought my camera with me and I didn't have a chance to use it, but that's okay.
Well, it's because it's not about looking at the pretty scenery. Like rowing is competitive here.
Yeah,
very
it
competitive.
is. I saw somebody ask, did we have Fautasi races this year for Flag Day? We did not, because we had just closed down and it was all the COVID stuff and everything. And so there were no Fautasi races this year.
Yeah. Tony, you're right. The internet connection's got a lot better here.
Yes.
Huge change of topic there, but we'll touch on that real quickly. When we first moved here, oh my gosh, I mean, there was basically, we went from having pretty fast internet back in the States to coming here, and it felt like we jumped back 15 years. Like we were buying data on our phones because we couldn't afford to like buy the full internet. And it was like, I mean, we're paying like 30 bucks for 2 gigs, and we were just like using it as conservatively as we could.
We
and
canceled our Netflix because we couldn't stream anything.
I mean, you only had that much data, and you couldn't even really use that much data. It was just always so slow.
Yeah.
So year and a half or 2 years ago, we had 2 submarine cables, 2 new cables land on the island. One from Samoa and one directly from the US. And they both just increased the capacity like you wouldn't believe. And we now actually have like full fiber optic, you know, internet. Like the infrastructure's already here on the island for it. They kind of did that before the submarine cables landed. And we got these fiber optic submarine cables. And so we have some of the fastest internet on the earth here now, believe it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, now we can stream anything.
It's a lot cheaper. I wouldn't say it's still as cheap as some places in the US, but it's still pretty cheap, honestly, compared to what we were paying. Now we pay like, so we got this deal with Blue Sky, which is a local internet and mobile phone provider here, kind of the big one that they have here. We've got a deal with them where we pay, it's like 40 bucks a month for 70 gigs.
Something like that. I can't remember.
We've got that, and we do a lot with
We
that.
set it up on auto pay, so I don't remember.
Yeah, something like that. So I mean, you know, that's not too bad, really. We're okay with that. It's a big step from $30 for 2 gigs.
Okay, are you driving with American Samoa driver's license or mainland? I did drive with my mainland driver's license for a long time until I kept on getting pulled over and the cops saying, well, you need to get that driver's license. So I finally broke down and did.
Yeah.
And yep, we both have AmSam driver's license here.
And it's a funny story because the reason she got away with it for so long is when we first moved here, you would usually call it DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles. Here it's the OMV, the Office of Motor Vehicles. They had one machine that made the licenses, and it was like out of service forever. So what you would do is you would go and you'd pay for it. They give you a receipt for it, and the receipt was as good as a license for a long time. Where a cop would pull you over, you would show them the receipt, like I paid for it. You know, the machine wasn't working again. They're like, okay, go get it done. It'll be working here again pretty soon. So you could get away with that for a long time for a while there. Not anymore. They fixed it. Sorry, guys. If you're going to come here, you're going to have to get a driver's license.
All right, there's one comment we need to address. We can't let that one go by. Somebody named Annie M. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, Annie.
Asking if we miss our family back in the States. Actually, that's Nate's mom. Yes, Annie, we miss you.
Miss you, Mom.
About 2 years ago now, dang, that's been a long time. We went to Australia and we met up with Nate's mom and stepdad there in Australia, and my sister came here to visit us a year and a half ago, and my cousins came. 2 of my cousins came last year, but that is the only family we have seen since coming here.
So Mom, I know you're watching now because we just saw your comment. It's about time for you guys to get out here, I think. As soon as the flights open up, please come out.
But yes, we really miss Mom.
How easy is it to travel to Australia? It's not too difficult when the flights are actually open.
Right now it's impossible. But
in general, this is not a great place to live if you want easy access to everywhere in the Pacific. But the nice thing is, or in the world in general. The nice thing is we're very close to Samoa. So if it's not the US you're trying to travel to, if it's anywhere else, you can generally find a halfway decent flight through Samoa. So you take a little quick flight over from American Samoa to Samoa, which is about $160 round trip. It's not too bad. It's like a 25-minute flight. It's pretty fun. But they have a major airport there that'll fly you to New Zealand and Australia, Fiji, a lot of the bigger hubs that will get you to anywhere you want to in the world.
Yeah, I've seen a few people ask have we been over to Upolu or to Apia. So Apia, for anybody who doesn't know, Apia is the capital of Samoa on the island of Upolu. So we have been there a few times. We stopped there on our way to and from Australia when we went back there with the kids. So that's when they've been there, and we took a few days to explore around Upolu. We have not ever been to Savaii. So we were planning a trip this year, but because of the borders being closed and everything, we haven't been able to get there. But as soon as the borders are open, we are planning a trip over to Samoa, especially to go over and see Apia.
So hit us up
to see Savaii.
Yeah, hit us up. You live in Savaii. We want to know all the great places to go. We want to make the best of it
We've
there.
heard really good stories about that over there.
Couple fast things here. Is rent expensive? That's a really hard topic to discuss, and we're actually going to make a whole video about this because there's so much to it there. The long and short of it is, it's hard to say if rent's expensive because it varies so much. I mean, you can find, if you find the right place, you can get in a place for $300 a month, you know, or you might pay $3,000 a month for a little more premium place. I mean, it varies so much. I guess that's the case everywhere. But I feel like most places you can kind of give it like a sort of a, this is a mid-range price. I couldn't even give you a mid-range price here. So we thought of a neat way to explain that. We'll do that in a future video. So keep your eyes open for that. Another one here I saw is, oh, wow, a lot of questions since I was thinking about that one there.
I know.
There we go.
Are you looking for one in particular?
Somebody asked, are we in the MIW ward? Yes, we are. Shout out MIW. What do you think that opening an indoor trampoline park in American Samoa would be a great business? I think that anybody that owns a trampoline in American Samoa is crazy because no matter, man, if it's indoor and it's conditioned, there's still so much salt in this air that everything fabric just like disintegrates extra fast. So I think it sounds really fun and
sounds awesome.
maybe good, but maybe not. Maybe if you've got a good budget for replacing the trampoline fabric, it would be good.
You know, there's a family who just moved here, well, just like before the border closed, that they used to have an indoor trampoline business. And so you could look them up and talk to them about the possibility of it. They would be the right ones to talk to.
Tui, you're asking when the Anu'u outing is going to be. So we kind of were joking that we've been to Anu'u like every October. We went back and did the math on it. Couldn't believe it kind of worked out that way. So we thought it'd be some nice symmetry. We're gonna do it in October. We're gonna go back out there and we're gonna do a video on it.
Let's see. There's a lot of, so we get a lot of people asking us if we've seen Jamily TV. Yes, we love Jamily TV.
Before we started this channel, we reached out to them and they gave us so much advice. And when we were starting in the channel, we reached out again and they gave us advice, and we keep doing this, and they've been like so supportive of us, and they commented on some of our earlier videos to kind of help us kind of get some traction. And they really understand this business, and they understand how to make an impact in the Samoan Islands on YouTube. And so we love those guys. As soon as travel restrictions lift, we're getting over there to try to hang out with them and hopefully collab. We would love to collaborate with those guys.
We've been in talks about it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, nightlife. We get lots of questions about nightlife too.
Yes.
We don't go out a lot. If we go out at night, it's like to take a family walk or something.
Guys, we're
really
like
lame.
30-something like parents with small kids. Where are we gonna go at night, you know?
And right now, because of COVID, so that is one thing. We've got a 9 o'clock curfew on the island, so everything shuts down at 9. So just in general, there's not much nightlife on the island, but we get a lot of questions, and so we have been talking about just going and checking out what there is, hooking up with some friends who do participate in, you know, the real nightlife, and so we're discussing it, and we'll have that coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, we've heard you call for it, so we'll do it.
We don't have any information for you yet.
Oh my gosh, you like this comment?
Have you guys got a lot of mosquito bites? From standing here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And I put spray on my legs because that's where I get it the worst, but now they smell that my arms don't have the spray on it. So yes, I get lots and lots of mosquito bites.
So funny. So talk about the difference in biology or something. Melinda can be covered in mosquito spray and still just be like bitten up like you wouldn't believe. I never put on mosquito spray, and we go hiking through the jungle, I'll get 1 or 2 bites on my ankles, and that's it, and I'm good to go. So
here you go.
So the kids just got home from school, and Henley brought me some mosquito spray. I'm going to apply.
The Nu'uli curfew still going. If by the Nu'uli curfew you mean like at 9 o'clock they go around, they blow the conch that says you know kids are supposed to be inside, then yes, that is going still.
And the 6 o'clock saw that's going too.
SAW is a fun thing to talk about. I did see somebody earlier ask about SAW, and somebody before the video requested that they wanted to hear about SAW as well. So SAW is going, and again, this is one of those things that we'll do our Palongi best to explain SAW, but I know that we're gonna like not hit it quite right. So please, somebody fix it in the comments. But SAW is essentially at like 6:15 or so.
Depends on the village.
There is this group of young men in every village called the Almanga that will come out, and they all wear kind of like the same color or design of lava, and they will literally, they'll ring some bells to give you warning it's going to happen, and they'll ring it like after 5 minutes, and they'll actually close down an entire village. So they'll stop you from driving through it, and they'll make everybody go inside. If you're just out walking on the street, they'll make you stop and sit down. And it is literally just the time that you're supposed to, I mean, I think it comes back around to being, I want to say it's prayer specifically.
It's like family time. Everybody, the idea is, from what we know, the idea is that, everybody, it's a time to go inside your house and be together as a family, traditionally for family prayer, and just to have a time during the evening where everybody comes and gathers together.
Yep.
Okay, let's see.
Like a protest in the US blocking traffic. Kind of. Like you'll go out there and they'll stop you and they'll just make you sit and park there. But
I was literally one day like 50 feet from pulling into my driveway, and I was almost home and they stopped me. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. It's not bad. You just sit in your car and listen to music, play on your phone.
Okay, I saw, let's see. Okay. What's one thing I wish? Okay, Hadley, the kids got home. Hadley's dying to come jump in the video with us. Come
you want to say hi real fast? You have to step up on this step, I think.
Hello! How was school today?
Good.
Good. That's the answer we get every day.
Yep.
All right. Anything to say?
Nope.
All right. Thanks, Hadley. Lots of people are saying hi.
I like the question, how are the kids adjusting to the Samoan lifestyle? We've been here 3.5 years. All of the kids claim that they like sometimes miss the United States. Holden and Kip doesn't remember the US. Kip only remembers being here. He's 6. Holden mostly just remembers here with just little memories, and Hadley remembers less than she thinks she does about back there. So this is just sort of their life. They kind of don't totally remember what it's like to be anywhere but here. And so they do well. They have great friends here. Hadley has so many boyfriends here. No, fortunately. I'm not gonna let that happen yet. But,
no, but
so they're doing well.
Honestly, our kids thrive, probably because the way we raise them. I don't know. Our kids love the freedom that they have here. We can go out and they get to climb trees and they get to go jump in the water, and we aren't like overscheduled or anything, and so yeah, they enjoy it here.
Hadley, what is homework for tonight? Say it loud.
Samoan language.
So somebody asked, do the kids learn Samoan? So yes, the kids up through, so elementary and middle school are together in one school, and then they go off. High schools are separate, and so through elementary and middle school, Samoan is a required.
Hi, Hadley from Hannah.
Aww.
Hi, Hannah.
Hannah is Hadley's best friend since they were both little tiny babies. They were born like 2 weeks apart.
So yes, the kids do learn Samoan in school, not as much as you would think, but enough.
I saw a question earlier. What do you think of the school uniforms? I think they're pretty darn adorable.
I love the school uniforms.
Yeah.
So the first 2 years the kids were at Tafuna Elementary, and for Hadley, she had the full dress, and she didn't love the dress. Here, where they're going now, she just has to do a shirt and skirt, and she much prefers that. So,
you know, I almost don't want to. We've got to say something about this question because I've seen it come up a couple of times. Westbrook Originals. Man, I keep catching your questions. Good questions. He asked, gubernatorial rallies, I guess she, I'm sorry, I don't know. Gubernatorial rallies are big in the islands. What are your thoughts about teams running for office? I don't think we can give you our thoughts spot teams, just because I mean it's different here. When we talk about elections here, it's just so different than where we're from in the States.
Different.
It's not like Republicans and Democrats. I mean, I think that there technically are, but I couldn't tell you what any of them are. Any of like the major teams running. There are 3 or 4 kind of major.
I'd say 4.
4
teams.
Yeah, kind of major campaigns going on right now, and I couldn't tell you which political side either of them are on. You know, they're all kind of about issues, and really here in American Samoa, maybe this isn't fair to say, tell me if I'm wrong, but it's funny, the issues, they all say the exact same things for the issues. There's not really a lot of variation that way, and it's really gonna, from what I understand, it's gonna come down to kind of like how much support they have from like kind of their villages that they come from where their families are at and stuff. So I mean, we've listened to them all a little bit. They've all got, you know, good and bad points to them, and this is gonna this is our first go around with an election here. So
yeah. So I will say, somebody asked about comparing political, like the political climate in the States compared to the political climate here. So much better here. I'll be honest, one reason that we aren't super excited to get to move back to the States anytime soon is because the political climate in the States is crazy. And it's so extreme, and it's mean, and here we haven't experienced any of that. Like Nate said, there are 4 different candidate teams, and they're all campaigning, but it's that we haven't noticed any meanness, and it's just,
well, they actually get along really well. They're so cordial to each other. They're not like, maybe they do in Samoan and we don't hear it, but like we don't hear a lot of like mudslinging happening. So we appreciate that.
We can't
side
understand
of it,
anything that's being said. So
there's more mean stuff being said by people that aren't the candidate about, you know, other candidates, and so it's hard to know what's true or not. We don't know. Sorry. Wish we could, like, you know, make you feel either really good because we're behind you, or feel really angry at us because we're like the opposite of you, but we don't have feelings yet. I think it'll change after we've been here for an election cycle and we see what they're saying versus what they actually do afterwards. Then maybe we'll have a better kind of basis for comparison, and we'll kind of see through what they're saying a little better and have a basis to decide who we want the next time around. But
now we do plan on voting, so we will participate in the election because we've been to a couple of like rallies and forums where they're discussing things.
Yeah, because they're all related. They are all related.
I know. And so we plan on voting, but
fake news, AmSamFam. No news here. We're not trying to like report any news, I promise. This is fake news.
Right.
If you're taking this as news, this is fake news. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Okay, people have been asking about Palolo. Palolo season is coming.
Oh man, Palolo.
Have we ever tried it? I haven't. And I want to. I know it sounds, well, to me it sounds gross, but I always want to try new things, no matter how weird and gross they sound.
I don't want to stay on this one. I just saw the best comment. Any word about the Fono building in Pongo? Come on, man. What are you trying to start here? Back to Palolo, sorry.
So Palolo, Nate, would you like to explain what that is?
What is it? This is what Palolo is. And I have actually tried this, okay? Knowing full well what it was, and I tried it anyways. Not to bash it, it's a local delicacy. It is these worms that live in the coral. Yeah, sea worms. There are these worms that live in the coral. And once a year, it kind of baffles me. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know exactly how this is, but once a year, it's like after the second full moon in October or something like that, exactly a week later, these worms, they basically, I don't know, however long they are, the back end of them detaches and floats to the surface. And if it's a male, then, you know, it's like it's full of sperm, and if it's a female, it's full of the eggs. And after that, the surface long enough, they actually dissolve, they mix all together, and that's how they reproduce. And then it goes back to the bottom, and it grows new little sea worms, little Palolo. But it is a local delicacy, so people will literally line up, and like, you know, like hundreds of people on the really popular beaches sometimes.
It's a great way to say it. Samoan caviar. There you go.
They'll line up and they will scoop it up, and they'll put it into like buckets and like, you know, bags and anything they'll fill it up as much as they can. And the funny thing about it is if you don't catch it exactly right, like at the exact right night, you don't get it, and that's it. So it's like sometimes people don't think it's going to happen one night, and it happens when nobody's out there ready for it, and nobody gets Palolo that year. So it's such a hit or miss. It's a fun, exciting thing. I've gone out to try to get Palolo, and I've never done it successfully because we always miss the night. But it's so popular here that it is extremely expensive. I'm talking like a little Ziploc bag of Palolo, $50.
Well, not only is it popular, it's just so rare because it's only available like on that one night. So either you get it or you don't. And if you get it, then you get it. If you don't, then you have to go looking for it.
Hey, thanks, Jules. Let's say Jubes. Sorry, thanks, Jubes.
All right.
Have we done the turtle and shark, Mark Hales? Yeah, we have done that.
Well, we've been to turtle and shark.
Okay.
We've never done the turtle and shark experience. That's
an important
something that's
distinction.
been on our bucket list since we got here, and we absolutely need to. We just haven't done it yet.
We won't go into the whole story of turtle and shark, but the long and short is that there is a really cool like story behind turtle and shark, and some really cool, what is the word for it, like mythology behind it. And if you go there and you have one of the local village people in Vaitongi sing a special song, supposedly this turtle and the shark from the myth will like actually surface there for you, and you'll see them. And I've heard like so many people tell me that it actually happens. Which,
I know. Like they've gotten it like on camera to have proof that it works. So yeah, I can't explain it, but
so we've got to go see it for ourselves. We need to get there and have
experience.
somebody do the song for us and see if it happens.
Yep. All right. Can you do a video visit to the museum? Yes. So we've got a video coming up that we will be showing the video, or at the museum, and some other things that you can do on a rainy day.
Yeah, Leilani's telling us, yes, turtle and shark is real. We've heard it from so many people. I mean, like Palangis, Samoans, so many people we've heard from have gone there and seen it happen. So, I mean, we've got to see it for ourselves.
Yes. Yep. We'll look
We'll
at the
show
museum.
these museums. I also saw...
Did you have rain today? Yep, we had lots and lots of rain today.
That's why we're not down by the beach. We said at the very beginning of the video, we wish we could have done it down by the beach, but it was pouring, and so we had to kind of hide under our patio here.
Okay, White Sunday. Lots of questions about White Sunday. So White Sunday is a holiday here in Samoa where it's kind of like you've got Mother's Day, you've got Father's Day. Well, this is, as it's been explained to us, is kind of like Kids' Day. And so all the kids wear all white, and they all go to, it's always on the second Sunday of October.
Hi, Tui.
Second Sunday of September, they all wear white, and they have prepared programs and singing and dances and everything, and they get gifts. And so our kids have participated in the wearing white and singing and program. I don't think we've ever bought them gifts for White Sunday. So I guess they haven't participated in that part. Shh. They might not know that yet.
Yeah, Children's Day. But like, it's so adorable. White Sunday, seeing all the kids in white, and they're up singing or just around, and they're all wearing their candy leis. That's what they wear. It's super adorable. It's a lot of fun for us here.
It's fun to see. Okay.
We have not tried the Vailima beer. We're not beer drinkers, unfortunately, but I hear good things about it.
Yeah. And I know there's a new brewery, a local brewery here,
Flying Fox
Brewery, and heard good things about that also. What time is it there now? It is
2:16 p.m.
2:16. Hey guys, thanks for sticking with us for so long. We've been at this for over an hour.
We'll wrap it up pretty soon here. We'll catch a couple more questions. So here's another one we actually get a lot of that I want to answer. It says, what do we do for work here? How do we, make a living here? So I work for a bank here, and Melinda is a writer.
Writer, photographer, videographer.
Melinda's on YouTube. You guys should look up her channel sometime. It's really good.
It's called AmSamFam.
You know, actually, so I got a couple questions earlier in the session about how we got the name AmSamFam. It's pretty basic, just to lay it out for anybody that can't really tell immediately, is that a short way of saying American Samoa is AmSam, and we're a family that lives in American Samoa, so we're AmSamFam. It had a nice ring to it. We went with it.
We were starting this channel, and I was like, Nate, I've got this idea, this idea, this idea. Ran them all by him. He's like, okay, those are pretty good. What about AmSamFam? And I loved it the first time I heard it, so I hope you guys like it too.
We live in Niuli.
Yep.
I saw a question earlier, is the Bank of Hawaii still here? It is not.
Nope.
They left.
We are working on some AmSamFam hats and shirts.
If you guys want them, I keep telling Linda,
Well,
I don't know.
I guess I should say, like, I need a new running hat and to wear, like, while we're up hiking, and so I thought we could just get the logo on the hat. And so we have been toying with the idea. You let us know if you guys want some AmSamFam merch. We're like, why would anybody want something with our AmSamFam name on it? So you let us know.
Yeah.
It looks like you guys
Tried the new
like the
donut
idea
shop?
of it.
We haven't. I guess it's only been
wait.
Whoa, did you?
That's a lie.
Without me?
You didn't.
Ah.
I took
There's
the
a new
kids
donut shop on Island.
yesterday. Yes, we
It's
tried.
delicious.
We tried the new donut shop. It's like connected to Forest Grins, and it is called the Fractured Prune. I looked it up. It's a franchise. So there are some of them, some Fractured Prune locations in the States, and we have one here now too. So they just opened up. Like,
It's Lauful Shopping Center,
yep.
right next to Forest Grins.
Yes, like they just opened up yesterday. So
Yeah, Mark, we do have KHJ with John Rayner.
I think he asked, have we been on it? Have
Oh.
you got on KHJ? But real quick, before
Sorry.
we go, those donuts are amazing. Other donuts at Pritchard's Bakery, also amazing. But this is just kind of like a different type of donut. So we'll keep going to Pritchard's for their donuts too. But yes, absolutely. The new ones at Fractured Prune, try the one with bacon. Okay. Yes, they've got so many different like flavors and toppings and all kinds of stuff. So, yep.
I have to answer a question that came on earlier. It says, Nate, do you like Spam? I do. I'm like so unhealthy for loving Spam, but like since moving here, I never really liked it before, but man, I'm like a Spam and eggs and rice breakfast kind of guy now. I know, it's gonna kill me.
The rest of us, I'll eat it every once in a while if Nate makes it for breakfast, but the rest of us aren't huge Spam fans. Let's see, I saw another one. Yes, you would love some AmSam merch. That's cool. Okay, well, I've been doing some research on how to make it happen, so we'll make it happen soon.
If you watch that Awa video, we'll try to put some hats out so you can cover your neck while you're snorkeling.
Yeah. All right, we love you guys too. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know people are naming other things here that are good, and Milovales, yeah, they're really good.
Pisupo. Oh, man,
So
yeah.
Pisupo is corned beef.
Mm-hmm.
I was never ever a corned beef person. Like, my dad used to make it growing up, and I never liked it until coming here. And now I actually do really like Pisupo or corned beef. You like Pritchard's cinnamon bread? Oh yes,
Yeah.
I love their cinnamon bread.
Pritchard's is awesome. We love Pritchard's Bakery. We love going there and getting some really good meat pies,
Oh,
and
yeah,
they got
the
great
meat
donuts
pies.
too.
When we got back when we were in Australia, we ate so many meat pies, and so we got back and we realized that Pritchard's had meat pies there, and so we just loved their meat pies.
Ooh, Dell is saying that we are planning a surprise trip for my family. Where is the place to stay for a few weeks? There are some Airbnbs around the island to start from a high level, so you can kind of look around and see what those are like. The big kind of local hotels, if you're looking at coming here, probably the biggest one on the island is going to be the Rainmaker. No, it's not the Rainmaker. I'm sorry.
Tradewinds.
Tradewinds. Thank you.
Tradewinds or Sadie's.
Yep. Tradewinds is in Tafuna. Sadie's, there's two locations. There's a decent little one over in Utule, which is right on the ocean. It's really beautiful. And then there's another one down in Pongo a little further, which is a really kind of cool older one. And then there's a neat resort out in close to Tafuna, in Fongongongo is the name of the village there, called Moana Osina, or is it Osina Moana?
Moana Osina.
Yeah,
Plus, hey.
Hey.
Plus Maliumai has, we've done a video on Maliumai
Yes.
with their ocean pool, and they've got rooms to stay in too.
They've really revamped that whole place and it's really cool now. So check out Maliumai. Look at our video, give you more information about that too.
Let's see. Would we consider documenting a 40th family reunion? We could talk about it. We could discuss it. Yeah. Get a hold of us, and we could discuss it. Can we be your tour guides?
We always love hanging out with people when they come.
I
So
know.
we would be happy to kind of hang out with you a little bit, but there are really good actual tour companies on this island
Yeah.
that can like take you and give you the best possible. Like, it's a grave behind you. This is a grave behind us.
Is there a grave behind us? Yes, that's our neighbor.
But good tour companies that could give you like, you know, the better history, more accurate history, where we try to like regurgitate what we thought we remembered about it. It might not be as accurate, but we'll definitely be down to hang out.
Nate the Great, that's right. All right, we've gotten a couple questions. People asking also who does the cooking. That would be mostly me, not because I'm better.
The better question is who does the good cooking and who does the most cooking.
Me.
That's actually mostly true.
No, come on.
Nate gets every Sunday night and some other times. Let's see,
shocked
where
about
you
the
talked
family.
about the family plots,
That's
like
something
the
we covered in
graves.
that 10 things video. I was shocked about it. I may have like kind of had some notion that it was gonna be like that, but seeing it in real life, guys, it's hard to explain to people how like strange that still is for me to be driving by and just seeing like houses with so many graves in the front yard. I understand the reason behind it. I think it's so beautiful and cool, but it still is. That's probably the biggest culture shock that I ran into here is just the graves in the front yards.
I don't know. It didn't. I don't know why it didn't affect me that much. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I was also surprised by the huge bats. There are huge bats everywhere.
Fruit bats, so
Fruit
flying
bats.
fox.
Yeah, they're not like scary at all. They're just like these enormous cat-sized bats that fly around at dusk everywhere. But
Let's see. Kapisi the kid. Hey, that's okay. After we stop our live video, it'll stay up on our channel. So anybody who missed the beginning will still be able to go back and watch it from the beginning. Brazil.
Hey, from Brazil. How's it going?
Brasilia, Brazil. Okay, we've gotten a lot of, okay, we're gonna wrap this up soon. We keep saying that, but we've gotten a lot of questions about have we been to the Manua Islands? And yes, we have, and yes, we love them, and yes, it's worth going out to visit them. So we went to all three. We started by going to Ta'u, and we stayed there for a night and went and hiked around in the
hey, Tacoma.
hiked around in the park, in the national park, and then we took the ferry, the boat, over to Ofu, and we stayed there for a few nights, and also just right off the national park. The beach there along the national park in Ofu is incredible, and it's literally been voted in like top 10 lists of best beaches in the world. And so snorkeling is great. They've got this really awesome hike. It's a little bit more difficult, but I took the boys and they were tired, but they did great with it. And it's got just like the most incredible view from the top there on Ofu. And so then we went over, we just took one day, we went over to Olosenga, checked it out. But another question we got, yes, we have jumped off the bridge that connects Ofu to Olosenga, which was, I do not like heights. I'm scared of heights. And so jumping off that bridge was terrifying, but once I had done it, I was ready to go again, which was still scary doing it even the second time.
I love jumping off of high things into water since I was a kid. It's always been a great love of mine. But I come from like a place with lakes and ponds where like, you know it's deep enough, but you can't see. And so it's not that scary. This is kind of scary jumping off that bridge because you look down and it's
so
crystal
clear.
clear. I mean, is that water like a foot deep or is it 16 feet deep? I don't know. I can't tell. It's so clear. So it was one of the scarier things to jump off of, even though it wasn't really that high. But
so you do it at high tide, and
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
said at low tide you can literally walk across. We've heard that, We know some people who stayed right there, right beside the bridge. And yeah, so at high tide, they would go and jump off the bridge. At low tide, they could just, it's basically just an extension of the beach clear across from like connecting the two islands.
Yeah, but it was pretty fun. Oh, what was the question I saw I wanted to catch earlier? Oh, so I've seen quite a few people ask, how did we find out about American Samoa
Good
before moving
question.
there? We covered this a little in our intro video, and maybe you've touched on
It's
it here
been
and
a
there
while.
since. But so I grew up for a good portion of my youth in Southern California, and grew up in an area with a lot of Samoans, and just kind of had a great love for like Samoan people, and got to experience a little bit of the culture just kind of through osmosis, I guess, being in an area with a lot of them, and liked it, and saw my kids getting to the age where I realized they were growing up and they didn't really know anything about this culture. And we had, this is probably a whole video we should do as a backstory, but we had been setting ourselves up for some time to do something like this, getting ourselves out of debt and getting ourselves ready to go and not just live the kind of normal, regular American dream type, you know, like house of the mortgage and the rat race thing we keep coming back to.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah, so
all
we've been
that.
getting ourselves ready for this for some time, and Melinda kind of wanted to get out and go do something, and I wasn't ready to go and just travel 100% all the time and live out of a suitcase, and I think it'd be fun to do it for a while, but that wasn't quite what I wanted to do. So the compromise that I made with Melinda, I said, hey, what if we go and live in Polynesia? Specifically, I'd love to live in Samoa.
We got it. Who came up with the idea to move to American Samoa?
Right here, that was me. She said, yeah, I'm down. I want to go live someplace cool and exciting, and I want to live outside of the regular U.S.
I was ready
culture.
for just a change, for an adventure, and he suggested American Samoa, and I'll be honest, my first response was, what? Where?
Where's that? Somalia? Like Africa? No. But what happened was I got looking into it, and I looked at Samoa first and realized it's going to be a little bit difficult because we don't have any family in Samoa. We're not Samoan ourselves, or even partially. So
I know
it was going to be
people
difficult.
say that I look like I've got some Samoan in me. I'm sorry, guys. I really don't. I wish.
So we figured out it was going to be difficult to have visas to work there and maybe to find a job there. But American Samoa is a U.S. territory, so I thought it might be easier here. And this is super serendipitous because at the time I was working for the state of Idaho as an economist, really working at tax policy. And I got a hold of the local Department of Commerce here, thinking I don't know who else to get a hold of. I said, hey, I'm a tax economist. I'm looking for a job in American Samoa. Are there companies or universities that hire somebody like that? And the director of the Department of Commerce said, well, you can't make as much money here. I said, that's okay. I mean, we don't need very much. We just want to make, I guess, a fair amount of money to be able to live comfortably there, but we're okay with that. He said, okay, well, then I'll hire you if you want. Turns out that like 3 weeks before I called him, they had an economist from the U.S. government come out and say, listen, you guys are taking on some new bond debt. You guys really need a policy economist. You guys need to hire one. And they couldn't figure out where they're going to hire a policy economist. And here I come knocking on their door 3 weeks later asking if they were looking for one. So it's kind of it all worked out. It was written in the stars that we were supposed to be here.
Yep. And since, I'll be honest, the moment, well, I don't know about the moment, but ever since we moved here, especially knowing so little about this place before we came here, it really has just felt like home. The people here obviously have been so friendly and so welcoming and kind and generous. I've never met any group of people in my life that are so generous. The island is incredible. We love getting out and enjoying the beaches and the hikes, the rainforest, the reefs, everything. And this really feels like home to us. So people ask us, how much longer will we be here? And our answer is indefinitely. We don't have an end date. We are still loving life here, and so people here are still welcoming us. And so as long as we're welcome, we don't have any plans just yet to be moving away. But
well, guys, we're approaching 90 minutes. I think originally we were kind of spitballing, let's see if we can go 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and we're about an hour and a half. I think we need to wrap this up right now. There's so many more questions we wanted to answer. So
we will come and do another live video, and you guys have given us really good ideas for future videos.
yeah, and I'll tell you what, help us get to 10,000. We'll do another video as soon as we can. If we get to 10,000 subscribers, that would be like a dream come true. That'd be so great.
All right, guys, thank you so much for coming and joining us here. I know you guys keep sending us more questions, and we will, like I said, in a future video or another live, we'll get them answered. Okay, we thank you so much. Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you back here again.
Tofa sofua.
Tofa sofua.
Hey, Gordon.
We're gonna figure out how to end our live video.
Yeah, we don't know how to end it. Sorry. We might be on forever.